Hey, what's up, Raider Nation? Check it out. Let me get a like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Don't forget the sponsor, shebangboutique.com. SHEEbangboutique.com. Go over there, get your girl some fly. All right, man. Coaching search still going. So as we know, this is the after the championship games have been played, the Rams lost and the Donkeys lost. All right. There's really no talk of anybody on the Patriots coaching staff becoming a part of the Raider staff. So we don't have to worry about them at all. Um, so that leaves us with the Donkey staff, the Ram staff, and Seattle staff who's still coaching. Now, as of today, updates from the Donkeys. Davis Webb interviewed with the Buffalo Bills today, the day after the championship. So Davis Webb has now talked to the Raiders and the Bills for their head coaching job and others. I believe Baltimore Ravens as well, but Ravens is off the table because they hired a coach. They hired Jesse Mentor. Remember, the Steelers over the weekend, they hired Mike McCarthy. All right. So that only leaves the Bills, the Raiders, the Cardinals, and the Browns left. Out of those four jobs left, I got to think the Raiders is at least the second to best job, right? The It's in Vegas. Okay. Yeah, it gets hot there in the summer, but otherwise it's beautiful weather. And it's the town. It's Las Vegas, man. Um, Dome Stadium. All right. So you're not standing out in the cold. And that's in Buffalo and Browns. Cardinals has a very nice stadium as well, but the Cardinals are in a little bit in flux. It's going to take a little bit more to get them back going. They don't know what they're doing with the quarterback and things of that nature. And they have the NFC champs and the NFC runner-ups and the San Francisco 49ers who made the playoffs in their division. So it's tough over there on the Cardinals. So, if I'm a coach, I'm looking at that Bills job, you know, as probably the best team. That's probably the best plug and play because they got the quarterback right now. But the weather, right? Um, Bills and then Raiders. Okay, so with that said, it's four jobs left. There's like six guys in the mix. All right. We got Webb or Webb and Joseph, a combination of those two guys. That's the young uh, Davis Webb, the guy that is the young phenom right now, being touted around the league as a brilliant offensive mind. And then when I say Joseph, I'm talking about Vance Joseph. That's the OG, who is the Denver Broncos uh, defensive coordinator right now. So there was some talk of them two being a combination or a package deal coming over, whether it be Joseph as the head coach and Webb as the OC or vice versa. So those two are still out there. Then you got the Shula Shieldhouse combo, right? Nate Shieldhouse, the passing game coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams, uh, and Chris Shula, the defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams that just got popped last night. Shula has the pedigree, and he could bring Shieldhouse along as the O core. So now you're running the Rams program offensively and defensively. If you take those guys, then you have the two standalones because I don't believe either of these guys will be bringing D cores with them or O cores with them, and that is Mike LaFleur from the Rams, their offensive coordinator currently, and Clint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator of the NFC champion Seattle Seahawks. He has the pedigree and he's shown that he can get it done in multiple styles, with multiple quarterbacks, multiple teams, multiple different ways. LaFleur is Matt's brother and the assistant to Sean McVay. offensive mind, both of these guys. Keep in mind, as you get prepared to watch the Super Bowl in a couple weeks, the two coaches, Mike Vrabel for the Patriots and McDonald for the Seahawks, both defensive guys. Just saying, the two teams that are in the Super Bowl have defensive coaches. Tom Brady played for a defensive coach for most of his years until he got with Bruce Arians, who was the only offensive coach that he had as the head coach. So we don't know if Brady is leaning towards the defensive head coach and the, offensive coordinator, QB developer, or is he looking towards the just straight head coach of that offensive minded QB developing guy? That's what we do not know. So now, judging by what has happened thus far, it is into the afternoon, right? We can even call it late afternoon on the filming of this content. The Raiders have not made a move on a coach, okay? They could have made the Phenom Webb an offer he couldn't refuse, and he could be the Vegas coach right now. The Rams guys, same thing. If it was going to be Shula and Shieldhouse, if it was going to be Shieldhouse by itself, if it's going to be LaFleur by itself, they could have announced that already. Unless they're going to do it tonight sometimes, and in that case, then this is irrelevant what I'm about to say. But Webb, Joseph, Shula, and LaFleur, in addition to Shieldhouse, are not coaching anymore. They're out of the playoffs. Yeah, I know it ain't even been 24 hours. However, you could have a Shefty breaking news or Tom P breaking news. Hey, in principle, this guy has agreed to be the coach of the Raiders. All right. So Webb, Joseph, Shula, LaFleur, all the Shieldhouse, all eliminated. All could be hired today. Okay. I was expecting a quick hire immediately. As soon as whatever team was eliminated on the guy we was waiting on, get the guy hired, get the guy in the building. Let's start talking about the free agents that we're going to keep. That's on our team, right? That's what you got to do. Who we going to keep on the team? Well, we need to coach. We need a coach. So I have to think it's not going to be any of those guys. Okay? This is just being logically. They could hire him right now. Like I said, if, I publish this and they hire the dudes tonight or tomorrow, then okay, hey, that's what it was. But as of right now, since they haven't hired Webb, Joseph, Shula, or LaFleur, or Shieldhouse, I don't think it's any of those guys. I don't think it's the Ram or the Denver guys. It's probably Kubiak. If anybody watched the game, you heard minority owner Tom Brady, and let's face it, the guy that's running the show, Mark Davis said it, right? Spy Tech is going to work with Brady to get the franchise going, all right? To get us a coach. He said it out of his, period. He said that out of his mind, that he's the owner of the team. He said it out of his mouth. So he had tons of praise for Kubiak, Tom Brady did. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Raiders are waiting on Kubiak. Here's the thing. It's a dangerous game, though. What if the Bills are waiting on Kubiak, right? What if the Seattle loses a close game and they want to run it back and try to win a Super Bowl together? And he's like, I'm going to give it one more year before I go be a head coach. Or what if they win the whole thing and everybody wants to run it back? You understand what I'm saying? And they end up convincing Kubiak to stay. The Allens have deep pockets. Those are the Microsoft people. The lady has deep pockets. If she wants to pay a coach to stay, she can pay a coach to stay. So now, that's what I'm saying. We're playing a dangerous game. It's like a set of musical chairs. Pretty soon, the Denver and the Rams folks will be gone. They're going to get hired. They're going to get jobs. Their agents are going to tell them, hey, these guys are waiting out for whatever. If you want a job now, hey, the Cardinals are hiring today. Hey, the Browns are hiring today. You know what I'm saying? So now you get caught out kind of in the musical chairs and then say the Bills do the same thing and they want Kubiak, excuse me, and then Kubiak chooses them. Well, the Raiders have one. This is a dangerous game, but the Raiders have one ace in the hole, and the only other team that's playing a more dangerous game, I feel like, is the Chargers, because the Chargers might be left without an O core. Because if, and I gotta think, like I said, man, Webb, Joseph, Shula, LaFleur are out. They're waiting on Kubiak. Say Kubiak A wants to go back because they won or lost. B wants to take the Bills job because he feels he's in a better position to win. If that happens, and let's say Webb has moved on to the Browns or the Cardinals, let's say LaFleur has moved on to the Browns or the Cardinals, okay, and then we get left out of the Kubiak sweepstakes. The fallback is going to be Mike McDaniel. The Raiders' fallback is going to be Mike McDaniel. From what I heard, he wants the job. He wants the Raiders' job. The Raiders don't mind him, but he's not their first choice. The Raiders look at him as a coach that can develop a young quarterback and has a program and a system that runs the ball and can develop a young quarterback. But they rather have Kubiak, what it's looking like. This is what I'm looking at it like, okay? Sean McDermott has not been mentioned. Brian Daboll did just interview. Brian Daboll could be attached to Webb. Brian Daboll is in with Tom Brady. He knows him well. So if they go with Mike McDaniel, maybe a Daboll comes in as the OC. I don't know. But Daboll did just interview. He could be a head coach candidate, legit, but I'm thinking the thought process was on that Webb would come in and Daboll would be the kind of like older, wiser OC, and then they would also get an older, wiser DC and kind of run it like that. So when they was interviewing Daboll, it wasn't necessarily for the head coach job, but who knows? It's not like I work for the Raiders. They also interviewed Joe Brady. Joe Brady is the offensive coordinator of the Bills, right? With ties to Sean McDermott, ties to Tom Brady himself. Joe Brady interviewed twice with the Raiders. Joe Brady could be attached with Webb as well. Or he could be attached with one of the other standalones like LaFleur or Kubiak. We don't know. But this is who's been interviewed. My strong synopsis, or right, the theory that I'm coming with, the scientific method by reason of deduction, I'm going with the Raiders want Kubiak, but they'll take McDaniel. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I ain't going to hold you. Just win, baby.